What's up? My name is Sebastian Bentz. I have a question today for Coach John Madden and Brent Pourciau. How do you read hitters when you're pitching?
Why don't you start your answering your own question? How do you set up hitters?
I like to create angles when I pitch. And so high, low, inside, outside, or even pitch movement, like 4-seamers and 2-seamers and stuff like that. So what I really like to do is I almost feel like I'm fishing, especially with the changeup. Like if I get a strike in there, I try to throw like a changeup low and away, a little bit out of the zone, see if they put a bad swing. They do it again, I'm gonna throw it a little bit more low and a little bit more away. See if they keep chasing it and keep doing it until they stop. Or I'll throw like a 4-seam inside and then a 2-seam even more inside, but it kind of cuts the corner of the plate for a strike. Try to create a different kind of like viewpoint.
So where do you pitch on the plate? I'm on the rubber.
I'm on the first base side and I'm a lefty. So I try to get, bigger angle to the righties and lefties and stuff.
And you go inside on lefties?
Big time.
Cool. And on righties, what's your favorite pitch to righties?
2-seamer.
2-seamer away.
Yeah, 2-seamer in.
Oh, you run it in on it?
Yeah, I like to brush them back.
Early in the count or just sometime in the count?
Anytime. I trust it, yeah.
What's your best pitch?
Best pitch is definitely my 2-seamer. I love to run it into the righties, break some barrels, especially with the wood bats. A lot of wood bat tournaments. If you got movement on your ball, you can throw as hard as you want. But it's like having movement and also velocity on your ball creates a different angle, creates a deception. All that makes it a little bit harder to hit. Because, you want to be able to look good with your velocity, and also you got to have good stuff in order to make it to the next level, which everybody wants to get to eventually. So it's kind of like I really focus on trying to use the stuff I learned here to create more velocity and create better stuff. Because the better stuff you got, the more people want you on your team or want you on their college, or just trying to create stuff to get to the next level for real.
And you've been here for how long?
I've been here for 2 months.
And your stuff's been picking up?
Yeah, I went from I got here at camp, I was like 80s, 81, and recently I went to Jupiter and hit 86, and I came in here and I hit an 87, so it's shown a lot of quick progress for me. I've been trying to crush the mobility and get more explosive in my lifts because I've never really done an Olympic lifts before, so it's kind of like this new stuff is giving me performance enhancement stuff, if that's legal, for real. It's kind of like, yeah. So it's like, it's kind of crazy to see how quick you can make gains and how
just
quick.
By putting the work in, right?
Just by putting the work in, showing up every day. It's just kind of, you just got to go through it. It's a process, and you could go up and down, it get frustrating, but if you're committed to the grind, it'll come through at the end of the day. And it's like, I'm going into my senior year of high school, so I kind of want to, I've always been an 80, 82 guy my whole life, so it's kind of like people always told me I couldn't throw harder, so I came down here to kind of, you feel me, prove them wrong, because it's kind of like people always tell me you can't throw hard, but they never try to teach you how to throw hard. So it's kind of like down here, he gave me everything I needed to know how to throw hard.
So I realized Brent and I never actually answered the question that Sebastian asked, so I wanted to do that now. First of all, thank you, Sebastian, for the question. And also, I got to meet Sebastian at the Top Velocity facility. I went up there for a couple days, shot some videos with Brent, and then stayed for my first 3X pitching velocity camp. Sebastian went through that camp, and he's staying there and training right now at the Top Velocity facility. And man, what a cool, smart, funny, athletic kid. I can't say enough about this kid. Really amazing kid. He actually, we did a video together. He showed me how to throw his 1-seam sinker, which is a filthy pitch. So I may have posted that one before this, or it may be coming after this. I'm not sure, but you definitely got to check that video out because it's a pretty amazing pitch that he's throwing. So, but to answer your question, Sebastian, how do you read hitters? For me, reading hitters came down to seeing their swing. So I wanted to see their swing. I didn't read much from their stance. I wasn't big into reading their stance. Some catchers that I had would read their stance so they would see where they're at in the batter's box, or some guys like to watch them before BP. I didn't like to do that. I just like to like get a feeling for them as they saw my pitch, because they may be different against what I'm throwing than against other guys or in batting practice, right? So for me, I would get a feel while I'm in there. I would always pitch to my strengths to start. So for me, it was my sinker. I would go in there and bust them hard with the sinker and then read them from there. And one easy way to read them is, for example, if there's a righty in there and he fouls off a fastball to the first base side, then you know he's late, right? So then you would stay hard. If he fouled off a fastball to the third base side, then you know he's early. You could go with a slower pitch. For me, specifically, a slider or a forkball, you know. So that's how I would read guys. Now, here's one thing is I used to think that if a guy fouled the ball off and it went straight back, I'd be like, oh, man, he's late. So let me stay hard. But in fact, he's right on time. So in that situation, you would want to change his speed as well. Obviously, for a lefty, same thing goes. It's just the opposite. So that's just one way to read a guy is off of foul balls. The other way to read guys is just to see their swing after you throw the pitch. Like, did he look terrible? And he's like, I remember throwing some sinkers where I would throw it to a righty and I could see him swinging over that pitch about that much, you know? So I know, you know, that he's not getting a good look on that sinker. So I would stay there until he proved me otherwise. Usually, you know, sometimes we get too involved in trying to mix things up. Like we want to mix our pitches up. But if they're having trouble with something, for example, if you're throwing that fastball and that righty's fouling off to the first base side, don't change it up until he starts making some adjustments. Even if it's like 4, 5, 6 foul balls down that line, stay there because you don't want to speed his bat up. That's a term that we use. It's called speeding his bat up, because if you throw a slower pitch, it's like you're speeding his bat up. He's not actually speeding his bat up, but it's easier for him to get bat to the ball because you're throwing a slower pitch. So, but stay there until he starts making an adjustment. Maybe if he's getting closer and closer and closer to the foul line, then you can go with that off speed or whatever. But, you know, don't think that you have to mix it up all the time. You can go back to back to back to back to back if he's showing you that what you're doing is working. You know what I'm saying? So trust in your stuff. Pitch your strengths versus his weaknesses. I think a lot of pitchers also do that. And then just try to get the best read off of the hitter as you can. I hope that answered your question. Let me throw it over to Brent and see what he has to say about the second part of the question that you didn't really ask, but he kind of asked you, and we'll see what he has to say about that.
I did a video on this the other day where setting up hitters off the front leg position and how it's landing. Basically, when you go into extension earlier as a hitter, you're flying open or you're turning on that inside pitch. To hit an outside pitch, you have to land more in flexion to stay closed longer and drive it the other way. So you can set up a hitter strictly on watching him swing, maybe on the on-deck circle, and if he's really quick to extend his front leg, he's a guy who you just set up that off-speed pitch off the plate, he's going to have a hard time adjusting. So I think, you know, there's many ways we can set up hitters, but I'm going to come at it from that direction. Basically, I'm going to look at how to affect their reaction time, and that's really what that is. Hitters that are going to be quicker to extend their leg, they're going to have they're trying to react quicker. They obviously they might be slower guys. They might have a hard time on the inside pitch, so they're kind of overcompensating. So I'm going to still come in hard on them, but then I'm going to go away and try to see how well they adjust. And then if I have a hitter who lands really flexed and really can stay closed and let the ball get deep and hit it the other way, I'm going to challenge him inside and see if he can pick up his bat speed or if his bat speed's quick. And then if he has to start changing his front leg position and get more extended earlier, then on the same thing, I'm going to try to go back and forth and affect that reaction time. So that's the way I look at it, is trying to go at it with how is the hitter reacting to my pitch, and how is he using the biomechanics of his swing to try to manipulate that and be able to react to my pitch better, and I'm just going to play that game.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you guys for all that information. Like I said before, Sebastian had attended a 3X pitching velocity camp there at the Top Velocity facility, and then he stayed there. He was training. That's how I got to meet him. If you want to learn more about the 3X pitching velocity camps, it's a 2-day camp. where you sign up, and then you get access to the gym thereafter. Like Sebastian gets to stay there, and all these guys that you've seen in there get to stay there and train. You know, they don't have to pay any extra to stay in there and train, which is awesome. And I also have a coupon code for you for that camp if you're interested. It's just my last name, Madden. And I'll also hook you up with the YouGoProBaseball t-shirt, as well as my advanced sinker and slider training program and my advanced forkball and splitter training program. So if you're interested in learning more about those camps, taking advantage of the coupon code and the free programs that I'm going to give you, I'll leave a link down below where you can check that out. They also have financing available, so you don't have to pay a big lump sum up front. You can spread it out. But check the information down below in the links. And if you have any questions, of course, let me know. Good luck to my new friend, Sebastian. I wish you nothing but the best, buddy. You are an amazing player, amazing kid. So whatever you're doing, keep it up.